It's Friday afternoon, June 2nd, 2017, if you're wondering. And this is the first installment for my June video, monthly video, as I count down to retirement in June 2019. So 25 months to go, including the current month. And what books did I get the last few days? So this arrived in the mail today for a few dollars more, with Clint Eastwood on the cover. I have the entire set now. There was 8 books in this series, the Man with No Name series. I'm not sure if that's what it's officially called, but there's 8 books in the series, and I now have all of them. This was the only one I didn't have. The other 7 I purchased for $1 each at a used bookstore. I had found them in like a 5 one time, 2 another time, and now I've got the last one, the 8th one. Then I picked up today at Strand. This was $2. It was very excellent condition, not brand new, but excellent condition. And for those new to my videos, which would be like everybody, because really no one watches except one friend once in a while will watch a video. Hi Gary. I put on the Broad Art clear sleeves, so it keeps the books nice. So this is a D-Day Companion. Leading historians explore history's greatest amphibious assault, and the editor is Jane Penrose. And looked pretty interesting. I was skimming through it and decided, well, you know what, $2, I'll just get it. I'm not going to debate it too much. Although I really should. I have so many books, but so it goes. Then for $2 again, I picked up, and I already have this, but like I said, it was $2. The West. It was a brand new condition. An Illustrated History by Jeffrey C. Ward. And it's just, like sitting there, damn near perfect. And I thought for $2, I'll just get it again. I don't want to see it sit there and get messed up. I saved it. I saved it from who knows what. So that's it. Those are the 3 books from this first installment. And it's a lovely day. Tomorrow we head out to 2 bookstores and see what I get. Till then, bye. It's Sunday, May 4th, and welcome to the next installment of my Countdown to Retirement videos. So yesterday we went to 2 bookstores in upstate New York. These are really nice bookstores. They're attached to libraries, and they sell cheap. In one store, the first one we went to, I was there about 4 hours, they were having a sale. So on top of the already cheap prices, those were slashed. So they had a sale on all fiction and science fiction. So, which includes, mystery, anything like that. So, paperbacks were 10 cents. Wow. Trade paperbacks, like soft covers, were a quarter. Hard covers were 50 cents. And altogether between both stores, I purchased 46 books, 34 at the first store and 12 at the second. None of them were library discards. So even though they're attached to libraries, the proceeds go to the library, but people donate books. And like I say, everything I purchased was not from the library, so there were no library markings on anything. So let's go through first the paperbacks at the first store. I'm going to do them store by store. So all of these were 10 cents. Alfred Hitchcock Presents, More Stories for Late at Night. Normally I probably wouldn't get this, but for a dime, could be some nice stories in there when I just want to read some short stories. The Three Musketeers. I have this book, but not this cover, and this has an introduction. There's probably a different translation from the other copy that I have. I shouldn't say a different translation, but a different translator. Although I guess there will be some differences between the 2 books. Heart of the West, 17 stories by Bret Harte, edited by Ned Hoops. This I've seen a few times there and never did purchase it, even though it would have only been 50 cents, but I just always let it go. Finally, for a dime, I just say, you know what, I'll just get it. It's got a pretty cool cover and nice to have. Okay. This book I already have a few copies of, but for a dime, I'm going to get it again. Tough Trip Through Paradise, Montana, 1878, by Andrew Garcia, edited by Bennett Stein. Now, this is a really incredible book. It really left an impression on me. And as I probably mentioned in another video about this book, the author, not the author, but the editor, edited out some not so flattering details that were in the original manuscript, which apparently was on like various papers and kind of hard to put together into a coherent story. But the story that was put, finally ended up in the book is really a good story. It's just that it's somewhat fictional, or at least not completely honest, as all the events in Andrew Garcia's life. But it really is a good book worth reading, and for a dime, you bet I'm going to get it again. And actually, the son of the editor was supposed to be putting out, I got these books in the camera here, was supposed to be putting out another copy of it, or at least some book about the original manuscript and how it was changed by his father, but nothing ever came of it. I don't know if he's still working on it or not. Had an email exchange with him 2-3 times over the years, and it's been a year or two since I've emailed him, so I don't think anything's coming of it, which is too bad. I really would enjoy reading that. Creek Mary's Blood by D. Brown. This is just kind of like a reading copy. I have a hardcover copy of this, which I think did not have a dust jacket, and just for the train, my commute, this is fine. And for 10 cents, it's really fine. Lucia St. Clair Robson, who I think is a really good author, she wrote this book also, Walk in My Soul. I'm looking at it in the camera and I see it backwards, and I couldn't figure it out for a second. This is about Cherokee Indians and Sam Houston's fictional, historical fiction. And this book I picked up not too long ago, and it's a really fat book. I didn't need it again, but I hate to say it. For 10 cents, I got it. Sacagawea, Anna Lee Waldo. And this book is, it's very, as you can see, it's a very thick book. And Sacagawea allegedly died in 1812. So how is it such a thick book if she first came into prominence in the Lewis and Clark expedition in 1804, first ended the historical record. The reason why this book is so thick is because there's another story that you didn't die in 1812, but you died in 1884, and this follows that storyline. So it's heavily fictional. I mean, she maybe lived until 1884. There's no positive proof that she died in 1812, but it seems that she did. The evidence seems to point to that, but there are some people who think that she did live on. So this is kind of like an alternate history in a way, which, maybe it's good, I don't know, but for a dime I'll get it. If I start to read it one day and I don't like it, I'll just not cry over it. It was only a dime. And the other one I got was probably not more than 50 cents. James Mitch to Texas, paperback. I have another one of these with a blue cover, but it's a little bit beat up, and this is like brand new condition. Spine's not cracked, and again, for 10 cents, I'll just get it. Then, the next 3 books here, the last 3 paperbacks from the first library, they're all by the same author. And when I went to the Book Barn in Niantic, I picked up a vintage book by Helen McInnes, which the title of it escapes me at the moment. Above Suspicion? Beyond Suspicion? Something like that. Maybe Above Suspicion. Well, anyway, it just had a really cool cover. I looked it up on my wife's phone on Amazon. It had some good reviews. So I figured I'll just get it. It was only $1. And so now I see some other books by her, and I figured I'll just get them. They were only 10 cents. So, North from Rome, Helen McInnes. Decision at Delphi. These kind of these old vintage covers, kind of like gothic a little bit. Cool. And this is like in really excellent shape for 10 cents. Can't really go wrong. Message from Malaga. Malaga. I'm not sure how you say it. So again, and this one says 7 months on the New York Times bestseller list. These books go back to like the 60s and 70s, I guess. So that's kind of cool. Now I'm going to pause for a second and rearrange myself here and go through the rest. Okay, these next few books I'm going to show were all together on the shelf. They're obviously part of a series. I don't know how extensive the series was. What's also interesting about them is that even though they were all obviously part of a series, on the spine there's two different publishers. One says Viking. Actually, there's three. Viking, Knopf, and Harcourt Brace and World. It's like three different publishers for these books, but they're clearly from the same series. Helen McGuinness, again, and this one is Assignment in Brittany. Just 50 cents. Dorothy Sayers, The Nine Tailors. I didn't know, if all of these are good, but just 50 cents, and it was just, they were all together, so I just got them. Raymond Chandler, The Big Sleep, can't go wrong with that for 50 cents. Dashiell Hammett, The Maltese Falcon. And I can't even tell that these have been read, they're nice. And Rex Stout, The Doorbell Rang. I always see books by him, but I'm not the biggest mystery fan, but for 50 cents, I'll try it. Hardcover, it was all part of a set, it looks like. Then, what was really cool is that I have these Louis L'Amour books, the collected short stories, and I have volumes like 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, I think 6 I may not have. So this is 4. This is volume 4, so that's really cool. One that I needed, and this was just 50 cents. Put the nice bright art jacket on it, and it's like brand new for 50 cents. I mean, wow. My wife found some really nice books, and my son too. And for him, the books were 10 cents at the first store we went to. All the kids' books were 10 cents each. Can you believe that? I mean, it was just amazing. Got my wife later in the day, second store, a nice Wayne Gretzky book, like brand new. It was like $1 or $2. Okay, then Spies and Sleuths. This is an older book from when video cassettes were still around. But what it has, like, lists a lot of movies with reviews, like 1 to 5 stars, it looks like. And there's no pictures in here. It's just like little blurbs of movie reviews, some information on the movie, and rated. So it's kind of cool just to look through and see if I could find some new film noir movie, something I don't know about, that I might like. So that was actually $2 because it's not fiction. And this next book also was $2. D-Day. This is like in brand new condition by Warren Toot, John Costello, and Terry Hughes. And D-Day, it's in excellent shape. It's got color, black and white. Looks interesting, and I haven't really gone out of my way to find World War II books, but if I find a nice one, just kind of I see it, what the hell, I'll get it. The price is right. And before I get to this one, let me show you 2 more World War II books. These are a little bit big and heavy. Okay, these were $2 each. World War II, editor-in-chief A.J.P. Taylor. This is a really nice book. Excellent condition. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm trying to find a good page here to... pictures, text, and it looks really good. Nice and newish. Not really beat up or anything. And this next one, this is a big one here. $2. World War II, the 50th anniversary of the Allied victory. like in brand new condition. So really cool. I'll do one more. So really nice books. Oh, and one more I got to show you. So then I found this one too. This is Frank McCarthy. It's a booklet that's the 10th anniversary. It celebrates the 10th anniversary of his partnership with the Greenwich Workshop. And what's interesting is I thought I had it, but for $2 I was just going to get it again, but I don't have it. I have the 15th anniversary, so apparently they did one for the 10th anniversary and the 15th. I don't know if they did others, but they did those two. And what it is, basically just small images with some text underneath about the image. Examples of his painting. And then it had with it like an advertisement and a letter to looks like an art gallery, John Lane Gallery in Poughkeepsie, New York. I wonder if that's still there. But this is from when this came out, probably in the 70s. If it has it would be it says here with the anniversary date. So this was from. Hold on a second. Don't rush me. Oh, 1974 to 1984. So this came out probably around 1984 or 85. So it's kind of cool. Then I got more. So let me get those. And we're back. First book here. These are all hardcovers now. This is Eric Ambler. I forgot to put this with the other ones I was showing before. This is Journey into Fear. It's supposed to be a famous book by Eric Ambler. Part of that series I showed before. And then, this was kind of interesting, The Graduate, Charles Webb. I'm going to probably make my own dust jacket for this. I downloaded some pictures off Google that I found, and I might design something to fit the book. Just to put a jacket on it, make it kind of cool. I'll see, maybe. Then, excuse me, these next 3 books are, I have them already. I actually read the paperback version of the 3 of them combined. And this is the Faded Sun trilogy by C.J. Cherry. And these were just 50 cents each. And I already have them, but for 50 cents each, I was buying them again. This was a really cool series. One of the first science fiction books I really got into, other than like some Isaac Asimov in my teens, which I did for school purposes. But this series was really cool, and all 3 books, hardcover, dust jackets. I didn't put broad art jackets on these yet, so I got to get around to that. But 50 cents each. Wow. They had yesterday also, I didn't get it, Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. It was like an old vintage copy, hardcover with dust jacket and like immaculate condition. Big fat book. Could have got it for 50 cents, but I know I would never read it. And I'm not really looking to buy stuff to resell like some people do, so I didn't get it. This was right with that other book, the Atlas Shrugged book, Von Ryan's Express. Of course, this is a movie with Frank Sinatra. This by David Westheimer. It's really in great condition. Dust jacket's intact. There's like no rips. Book's in like fine shape. I don't know really much about the book. I looked it up. Some people like it, some people don't too much. But for 50 cents, I just figured I'll get it. I didn't put the broad art yet on it. I'll decide if I want to keep it or not. But it's got a nice cover. And that, you know, it's funny when you find some old books that are like in excellent condition, and somehow they just manage to, you know, survive the years and stay like that, because most of the time, you know, just people don't treat their stuff nice. Then it gets to the store, and then people are handling the books, and they're putting them on the shelves, and of course the people who brought it to the store pack it up in their car or something and put it in a box, and you know, so many places where things can go wrong, and things can get damaged. So it's really amazing when they don't. Like even I found a paperback for my wife with for a book called Giant. It was 10 cents, and it's got Rock Hudson on the cover, and it was Elizabeth Taylor, somebody, maybe Elizabeth Taylor, from a movie called Giant, which I'm not familiar with the movie, but it's an old vintage paperback, and it was like in excellent condition, just old, but all together. Now this next book I'm embarrassed to show for those who know that I already have this book like a lot, but it was 50 cents and it was in excellent condition, like unread. Centennial, James Michener. I love this book, and I have, as I just said, quite a few of them. For 50 cents, how could I say no? I mean, this is also a first edition, and Dust Jacket is just like incredible, and I put the broad art on it. 50 cents. I had to get it. Lucky they only had one. Then I have the paperback of this, and I know it's got mixed reviews, but I just wanted to get it because I like the picture. Raymond Chandler with Robert B. Parker finishing the book because Raymond Chandler had died and left like a partial manuscript. Poodle Springs it's called, and it's in it's in nice shape. For 50 cents, I like the cover. Like I said, I have the paperback, which I'd read if I want to and save that one. Then let's see, I got 3 more books here. For the first bookstore, then I got to do the other bookstore, which is 12 more books. So the Mystery Hall of Fame. This is edited by Bill Pranzini, Martin Greenberg, and Charles Waugh, W-A-U-G-H, including stories by Arthur Allan Poe. I'm sorry, Sir Arthur. I'm mixing up names. Edgar Allan Poe, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, G.K. Chesterton, Dashiell Hammett, Agatha Christie, Raymond Chandler, Roald Dahl, Ellery Queen, and many others. And it's like in excellent condition. So, 50 cents. Can't go wrong. This next book I used to have a long time ago, and in a move had gotten rid of it, so I just figured I'd get it again. It was $2. Crimson Prairie by S.L.A. Marshall. It's from like 1972. History of the Indian Wars. It was in fine shape, so I figured I'd get it. Nice dust jacket. And the last one, The Making of the Great Westerns by William R. Meyer. And the dust jacket, it's pretty good shape. A little part missing over here, but overall it's very good. $2 for this book. There's some pictures, information about movies, westerns, obviously, and it includes Stagecoach, Drums Along the Mohawk, They Die with Their Boots On, The Oxbow Incident, Duel in the Sun, Red River, Fort Apache, I'm skipping around, High Noon, Shane, Rio Bravo, Magnificent Seven, HUD for a few dollars more, El Dorado, True Grit, Wild Bunch, Butch Cassidy, Sundance Kid, McCabe and Mrs. Miller, which I watched a few months ago. Here is from, was this Fort Apache? Shirley Temple, and John Agar. So, again, The Making of the Great Westerns by William R. Meyer. That was a pretty cool find. The only thing that, yesterday was really great, but, there was like some people that come there. I'm taking care of the books. Like I'm taking books off the shelf, and I just take what I want. And it seems like a lot, but you should see what other people were taking it. Just throwing books into like bags. Like I'm taking care of everything. I put it down nicely. I keep it nice. They'll have like a bag or a box. They're just like throwing books in. I don't know if they're reselling them or they just don't care about books. They just read them and get rid of them, and they don't care. But I'm not like that. I take care of all the books, and it kills me when I see people just throwing books into bags and just all getting, crumpled up on each other. And who does that? If they were like a bunch of babies, would just throw them into like a bag? No, you put them down nicely, right? Take care of them. And there's like 2 guys that came in, and they grabbed, they must have had like 300 books between them. Whatever. I guess the prices were right. But, I wonder if they were reselling them or what they were doing. But I still made out good. I still found a lot of stuff. And I'm sorry, I was picking at something on the couch here. And I got a few more to go, so let me pause. Okay, let's finish this thing up. So I picked up in the next store, paperbacks there are 50 cents. I got Alfred Hitchcock Presents Murders I Fell in Love With. Then I got Helen McGinnis, Assignment in Brittany, and this I had a hardcover of before with that red and blue hardcover. And Red Harvest, Dashiell Hammett. Then, what was really cool, my wife had spotted some books on Indians on one of the bookshelves when you walk in, kind of off in the corner, not really out where your eye first goes to. And sometimes I look there, but I hadn't gotten there yet, and she noticed some books. She said, "Oh, look, did you see those?" So they had, it looked like somebody had gotten rid of, for the most part, brand new books on the Apaches, like their whole collection. Maybe like 7 to 10 books were there on the Apaches. It's pretty cool. So I picked up, these were all like anywhere from like $1, $2, or $3. Just kind of priced in a way, it didn't seem to make any sense, the pricing, but I don't care. They averaged out about, average price was like $2 for them. So Life Among the Apaches by John Cremoni, hardcover. I may have had this edition a long time ago, and again had gotten rid of it in a move. I'm not positive I had it. They also had the Nebraska Press edition, the Bison Book edition, with these Apaches on the cover, which is a cool edition. I have that one too. I didn't buy it. That one was a little bit beat up, not bad by any means. I certainly could have made it nice and fixed it up, but I just already had it, and that was enough for that one. Because I have this book in the Time Life edition, this, and the trade paperback edition. This was a great one, because I actually wanted to get this, and I couldn't believe it was there. Apache Days and Nights, John Clum's autobiography, 1877 to 1887, edited by Neil B. Carmody, Carmody, Carmony. So, $2 this was. $2. It's brand new. This has not been read. I mean, you could tell, or if it was read, it was extremely gently, like I would read a book. Let's see here. There's some pictures in it. John Clum, of course, is a famous frontiersman and Apache Indian agent for a while. So it's got nice end papers. Not picture, just kind of like a nice print, which might be hard to see in the video. $2. And these also. Now this I have, but for $2, how could I not get it? Victoria and the Mimbres Apaches by Dan Thrapp. And it's like brand new. I mean, again, you wonder how books sometimes make it to the store and on the shelf and don't get messed up. But these didn't. They were fine. I mean, really amazing. Geronimo by Angie DeBow. Now I have this book with a different cover. This is Howard Turpning, the painter, did this picture here. So, The Legend of Geronimo by Howard Turpning, 1992. So I got it just because the cover was so cool, and it's just fine condition. And then this book, this was amazing because I actually wanted to get this. Because I read the paperback not too long ago, and I wanted to get a better copy of it. So, and I wanted to get this copy of it. But I was just holding off because it's expensive. Apache by Will Levington Comfort. This is a novel of Mangus, Colorado. It's a very good novel, I think, and brand new. Excellent. Here's another book that I wanted, which I had a long time ago and had gotten rid of again in that move. But I got it again, brand new. It's brand new on the shelf, $2. The Apache Indian. Or was this $1? One of them was $1. This might have been $1. I'm not sure. Apache Indians by Frank C. Lockwood, forward by Dan L. Thrapp. And I had wanted this to get it again. I'll do one more from the West here. This is a paperback edition of Orphans Preferred. I found the hardcover edition at Strand not too long ago, somewhere in the last 2-3 weeks. Pony Express book. This was $1. And this also was $1. Into the Rising Sun, edited by Patrick K. O'Donnell, and this is World War II veterans talking about the experiences in the Pacific theater of war, fighting the Japanese. Seemed kind of cool. There's another one he did from the European theater of war, and if I see that, I'll pick it up just to have them both. And then this seemed pretty cool. This was $2. A World War II visual encyclopedia. For $2 is a pretty good deal. It doesn't, it's just basically like a lot of images and entries for different items related to World War II. People, places, things. Show it one more time. And general editor is John Keegan. Pretty cool for $2. So that was it for that book haul. And so again, that was 45 books, 45 books. One book I didn't show, I'm probably going to get rid of it. It was a novel, a science fiction novel, but and looking at it and looking it up online, I'm not sure I'd ever read it, and I didn't show it. It was only $0.10, so. But anyway, so 45 books, and if you divide up how much I paid, which was like a total of about a little bit under $36, let's just round it off to 36. It's about 78 cents a book. Wow. Those same books, if I had purchased them, like let's say at Strand in New York City, not outside but inside the store, I don't know, $300-400 for those books, easy. Could easily be over $400. I mean, with the paperbacks that they're selling for like $10-15 each, I got them for $0.10. Yeah, maybe even up into $500. Who knows? It would have been up there, and I got it all for, again, like $36. It's pretty amazing. My wife and son did pretty good too. Found some good stuff. So that's it. Take care. It's Friday afternoon, June 9th, and it is the 141st anniversary of the skirmish at Tongue River Heights, which is a fight that happened during the Sioux War of 1876. 141 years ago. It's like 2 lifetimes, about, so. Not that long ago, but yet a long time ago. When you think about it, how far the world has come in 141 years, with computers and airplanes and, all the technology that we have, television, space travel, come a long way in 141 years. So, what did I get this week? I picked up 3 books, total price of $4. First, and these were all purchased on Tuesday, June 6th. So, first one was brand new outside in the stacks, $2 at Strand. D-Day, which also took place on June 6th, 1944. So it's kind of odd that I found it that day. I wonder if it was coincidence that they put it outside. And it's like brand new, by Stephen Ambrose. It looks interesting, got good reviews. I know Stephen Ambrose had some issues with, he died in 2002, but I know before he died there was some issues of plagiarism. This book I didn't see listed in that respect. But my interest anyway in World War II, even if he did plagiarize somebody, I'm more interested just learning about the battle more than researching like serious research. So while I prefer he didn't do it, if it happened at all, it still would be a good book to read. As long as it's accurate historically. So it's the climactic battle of World War II, D-Day. Then that same day, I found two books that of all people that should find them, I'm glad it was me. These were $1 each. Atheist Universe, The Thinking Person's Answer to Christian Fundamentalism by David Mills. And Natural Atheism, David Eller. So they're both that size for $1 on different racks. I was lucky, right near each other, but I spotted them both. And I went through all the books. I didn't see any other atheism books. Today I found one. It was with the paperbacks for 50 cents. And it was called Atheism in like big words. And then when I picked it up to look at it, I saw it was Answers in Genesis published it, which is a Christian organization. So it was basically putting down atheism, but it was a trick the way they wrote it. Glad I looked at it before purchasing it. So that's it for this week. June is 1 week over, basically. And tomorrow we go to New Jersey, go to a few bookstores there. And I'd love to go back where we went last week, the library sale. That would be awesome. But I know my wife wouldn't really want to do that. And maybe I'll get lucky in New Jersey with finding some good stuff. So anyway, probably tomorrow night I'll make another video, or Sunday, with what I got. Till then, bye. It's Sunday, June 11th, and we had quite a book haul Saturday. We went to 4 stores. 3 we had planned. One of them came up, which I'll get to after. And really just great prices. I'm happy with a lot of the books that I bought. And let's get to it. So the first place that we went to, it's a bookstore that's attached to a church. And I guess the proceeds must go to the church, and there's like a old age home there. So and they sell books very cheap. I mean, paperbacks 50 cents, softcover trade books $1, hardcovers $2. Kids books are maybe 50 cents. So first I picked up 4 paperbacks. Oh, plus they were having a sale yesterday, 20% off. So a 50-cent paperback was, do the math, 40 cents, right? Hardcovers, normally $2, were $1.60, and the trade paperbacks were 80 cents. Good deal. So this I already have, but it's hard not to get me for 80 cents. Dashiell Hammett, The Maltese Falcons, got a cool cover. Then I picked up Zane Grey Fighting Caravans. This had good reviews, and I'm not really a big Zane Grey reader. I think this is my first Zane Grey book. But for 40 cents, I'll try the story. It looked pretty interesting, had good reviews online. Then I have, by James Fenimore Cooper, The Last of the Mohicans, which I've never read. It's something I've looked at in the past, and it just doesn't really have the language that interests me right now to read. But one day I would maybe like to read these books. So for 40 cents each, they had also The Pathfinder and The Prairie. And so it was a series of 5 books. I don't have the Dare Slayer, which is the first one in the series, and The Pioneers, which I think might be the 4th one in the series. I think I have the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th books. So, and these are look like excellent unread condition, 40 cents each. Then Francis Parkman, LaSalle, and the Discovery of the Great West. I don't think this has been read. It looks pretty brand new, other than just some shelf wear a little bit, but nothing bad. So 80 cents. Excellent deal. This is like, $7.50 to $10 in most used bookstores. The Secret, not the treasure, The Secret of the Sierra Madre, The Man Who Was B. Traven by Will Wyatt. So it's kind of like a detective. It's a history book as this guy tries to be a detective and figure out the secret of who is B. Traven. Of course, he wrote Treasure of the Sierra Madre and some other books, and it was only 80 cents, so I figure that's a pretty good deal. It's in excellent shape. Then, let's see, here's another one that was 80 cents, Winding Steer by Douglas C. Jones. And this is a novel that takes place in 1890 or thereabouts in Indian Territory. Douglas Jones, pretty good writer. I should say Douglas C. Jones. This is a different cover. It's a different publisher than I usually see this book. This is put out by Holt Rinehart Winston. So they had another one with this one, but it was a little bit bent up and I didn't get it. Might have been Elkhorn Tavern, but don't quote me on that. Might have been though. Now this book I have, but it was like in brand new condition. The Wrath of Cochise, The Bascom Affair, and the Origins of the Apache Wars by Terry Mort. And I put the Broadart sleeve on it. This was brand new. See, I don't think it's been read. $1.60. If I ever open up a used bookstore, I have a lot of books. Not that I think I can do that. I would have a hard time parting with my books. That's where my mind's at now. I'm not saying never. I'm just saying who I am now, never. I hope I remain who I am. Next, 80 cents. The Second World War, The Pacific by David Horner. This is an Osprey military book. Osprey is, of course, known for doing military books. And it's pretty cool. Trying to get a little bit into World War II. Spent my life reading about the Indian Wars, which I still, mostly that's what I read about, but it's good to branch out a little bit. Tarawa, 1943. By Derek Wright, illustrated by Howard Gerard. And it actually has some nice illustrations, this book. I know it's hard to see, but it's got maps and nice... here's another good illustration. Oh, I opened up to another one here. I'll show it. And World War II photographs. Again, Tarawa, 1943 by Derek Wright. It's in like excellent condition. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Next, The Apaches. This book I think I have a different cover. I'm not sure, I have to look. Might have it with a different cover. This Jason Hook, illustrated by Richard Hook. The Hook family write a lot of military stuff and illustrate them, and they're very talented, the family. Let me find here. Let's see. This is the kind of book when I see, like where I go to Strand a lot, this could be easily over $10. I got it for 80 cents. It's like brand new. Here's another one that I have, but it was only $1.60, and it's a pretty cool book. I have the Bicentennial Edition. This is the one that came out previous to the Bicentennial Edition, I guess, and then they reprinted it, added a few pages. So this one is missing those first additional pages they put at the beginning. But I have the other copy also. And it just has nice photographs, and it was like brand new, and they were giving it away. I just thought I'd add it to my collection. Oh, by Stephen Ambrose, photographs by Sam Abel. Lewis and Clark, Voyage of Discovery. Now this I don't have, and this looked like a very good book, and it was $1.60. American Cinema, 100 Years of Filmmaking by Janine Bassinger. This has some good reviews online, and it's like brand new. Put the clear broad art sleeve on it, and it has here's a Sinatra on one page, and why am I blank? I knew who that Audrey Hepburn on the other page. How could I forget Audrey Hepburn's name? It's got a lot of nice pictures. There's text in here, and there's the chapters are like there's like a chapter on westerns, film noir, screwball comedies. So looked really interesting. Had good reviews, and for $1.60, something like this. Normally my wife would get a book like this, but this one I picked up. I mean, they were all our books anyway, but I'll keep it with mixed in with my books. And then my wife got a lot of nice books yesterday. We bought all together. I didn't mention this previously. We bought between these 4 stores 53 books. I bought 28, and my wife and son bought another 25. Now this book here, I don't have a dust jacket. It's called The Native Americans, and it's actually different authors. Colin Taylor, John Langolier, Nancy Perizzo, William Sturdivant, Susan Rowley. So it's kind of a collection of different chapters written by these historians and about different aspects of Native Americans from different areas. So there's a chapter on the Southeast, the Southwest, the Plains, Subarctic, the Northeast, and more. And it's got a lot of nice images, material culture stuff. This book should have had a dust jacket. It wasn't with the book. It was only $1.60, and I actually thought that I had this book. I didn't even bother looking it up in my tablet if I had it. I was certain that I had it, and I don't. So it was a good purchase because I thought I had it, but I didn't. And if I ever see it with the dust jacket, I'll get it, and this will be my reading copy. But because it has a nice dust jacket, I saw online. I looked it up, but I was looking through my shelves. I'm like, and through my book list when I got home. I'm like, I don't have this book. Couldn't believe it. I thought for sure I had it. I probably have seen that book other times with the dust jacket and just never bought it because I was so sure in my head that I had it. Cowboy movies. I have quite a collection of movie books now. This is by Norman V. Richards. It's got Clint Eastwood on the cover. I think that's from Josie Wales. I'm not positive. Maybe I'm wrong. And this looks like a pretty cool book. It's, let's see here. So, it's not a very thick book. But nice dust jacket, and price was right. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, the next store that we went to, I picked up 4 books. And this store, I used to really enjoy going there a lot, and we used to go there more frequently. And I don't really care that much about the store anymore. I'm kind of losing interest in it. Besides the fact they don't really get enough new things that are of interest to me, the prices on things they have, I think they raised them from a few years ago. The stuff they have on the shelves, like Indian Wars books that I would have purchased if they were a few dollars cheaper, I don't. And as they sit, they're not in the same condition anymore because they get shuffled around and people move them and look at them, and the dust jackets get ripped and just pages get bent, and so they're just. I'm like one of the only people that will ever go into some of these stores and buy these books, and so the price really has to be right, especially if I already have it. And they're not really getting enough new stuff of interest to me, but it pays to go once in a while. And 'cause you never know what you're gonna find. It's always like the lottery. You got to be in it to win it. But I'm just not thrilled with the store anymore, especially since I've discovered a lot of new stores in the last few years. That this store is just losing its original shine that it had for me. So, but they do have, for the most part, good prices on paperbacks. There is a paperback they have there that I had wanted. It was $7, and I wouldn't buy it for that price. Now it's down to $3. I'm still not buying it for that price because the other ones are like $1.50, and I would have bought it for that price, but let them keep erasing the old pencil price and put in a new one. And eventually, the book's not even going to be worth buying at any price if it gets moved around a lot and gets bent and so forth. So they see a title, they think, "Oh, this is really good," but not buying it. No one's buying it. A lot of the books I see in the store, they've been there well over a year. So gotta lower the prices if you want to move stuff. So these were $1.50 each. Santa Fe Passage by Clay Fisher, whose real name is Henry Wilson Allen. He also writes under the name Will Henry. I bought it because of the cover. I already have it, but I don't have it with this cover. Just kind of like really old, nice, vintage. So I picked that up. And then I got Stir Up the Dust. And this is a Western by William Colton McDonald about a cattle drive from San Antonio to Abilene. San Antonio, Texas to Abilene, Kansas. And I picked it up because, besides the fact that the cover's kind of cool. I mean, you could say it's cheesy, but it's like this old vintage cover. It's a cattle drive, and I read Monty Walsh recently and another book. There's a loud car going by outside. What was that other book I read? Trail to Ogallala by Benjamin Capps. And that was about cowboys in a trailer drive. So I just thought, I'd get this and add it to that kind of genre of Western. Now this one's kind of funny. I recently picked this up. I think I showed it in a previous video, this DVD series, The Famous Mr. Ed. This was $4. The Unbridled Truth About America's Favorite Talking Horse by Nancy Nalvin, with a foreword by Wilbur himself, actor Alan Young. So this, just basically all the episodes and details about the show. Kind of just a fun book. I have one on Leave It to Beaver also, but I don't have that series on DVD. I really should get that. It was kind of a funny show. I like that kind of stuff. So, Mr. Ed. I figured I'd get it because I have the DVDs now, and so that'd be kind of cool to watch an episode and read some details about it in there. Ambrose Bierce is Missing, and Other Historical Mysteries by Joe Nickell. This I didn't put a cover on yet. I'm not sure if I will. I want to read the Ambrose Bierce chapter and see if it looks like it's worth keeping. There's a few chapters in here. Let's see here. Looks like maybe 9 chapters of different mysteries, historical mysteries. Something about Daniel Boone, another chapter about Lincoln, Hawthorne's Veiled Lady, Pseudoscience in the Shroud, Unmasking a Nazi Monster, a few more, including Ambrose Bierce is Missing. And Ambrose Bierce, of course, is a famous writer from the late early 1900s. Wrote a lot of Civil War stories and kind of just disappeared around 1913, I think it was. So this was 50 cents. And it's like brand new. It was just 50 cents. And I found also for 50 cents, which I got from my wife because she likes Abraham Lincoln. It was like a little booklet with different speeches from Abraham Lincoln. And they were just giving that away 50 cents. And when you get 2 of those books, they give you another one for free. So I couldn't find anything. I had my wife look, and she picked out a novel that looked interesting. So that was pretty cool. I mean, you can get lucky with the 50-cent books sometimes. But, I found one for me, the Lincoln book for her, and then I struggled finding the other one. I just couldn't find one. They just don't have a lot of great stuff. My wife struggled too, but she finally just picked that one out. Since it was free, what the hell, maybe it's a good book. Okay, And by the way, you're only as good as the last thing you do, right? So I can go there again in 4 or 5 months, and they could have a ton of stuff I like, and they'll be back on my hit list again. Hit meaning like positive, not like knock them off. Okay, then we went to another store that had a sale Memorial Day weekend, which we couldn't make because we had been there the previous week to that. We couldn't go back 2 weeks in a row, and we had a different trip planned for Memorial Day. So we hit it again this week, a couple of weeks after their big sale. I think it's been about 2 weeks. And I just picked up 2 books. Philip Jose Farmer, Tarzan Alive. Now I have this book. It was only, maybe it was like $2. And I have this book already with a different cover. But it's like really excellent condition, and kind of thought the cover was cool, so I picked it up. And then this book here, I think it was $3. They have is when you walk in, they have like different stickers like red, green, blue, and yellow. And there's a little price chart. And this one I think had a red sticker, and I think red is $3. It was a brand new book. The Civil War by Robert Paul Jordan. It's from 1969, National Geographic Society. And inside has a nice fold-out map, a big one. Got nice end papers. Lots of nice art in here. Basically just a pretty cool book. And it's like brand new. Here's Lincoln. So this was, like I say, like $3, and seemed like a good deal. It's even, this is nice also, the book itself. It's got the cross sabers, and the cavalry hat. Okay, let me organize here, and I'll be right back. Okay, while we were at the last store where I bought the Tarzan Alive book and the Civil War book, my son was using my wife's cell phone and was searching out other used bookstores in the area. Now, I go online a lot and look for used bookstores, and he found a store that just never came up in any of my searches. It was like half-hour away, and we wanted to go eat, but we figured, well, we'll head over there because it was like after, a little before 4 o'clock. They closed at 5. We figured if we get there and have 30, 40 minutes, we'll check it out. Maybe it's a nice store, and we'll go back again. And let me tell you something. This is an awesome store, and I only had 40 minutes to look around, and it wasn't enough. I needed like 2 hours. Okay. I did pick out a bunch of things here. Actually, 7 or 8 books. Great store. Vintage paperbacks. Hundreds of them. Native American section. Movie section. Just really a lot of old like TV shows and books in like bags pegged onto the wall. Like just interesting just to walk around and look. Like I said, I could have spent a couple of hours there, and we're gonna have to go back. So let me show you what I picked up. And this was a big rush. I had to do this real quick. They're open today too, but I can't get back there. My wife's got the car, and anyway. So this book I have, I just love the store, which is so cool. I'm like still thinking about it. Can't wait to get back there again. Now this book I have, but I only have one of them, and I have it was a 2-part series, Apache Devil, and there was another. It's Edgar Rice Burroughs, by the way. It's a cool cover, and there was another book to this series, and I have several of those with different covers. This one I have with this cover. It was like $3. The vintage paperbacks, by the way, at the store, they're like $2.50 to $3.50 on average. I think I paid for the few I bought here. One I think was even $1.50. These same books, if you go to Strand, like $15, $10, $15, and some of these definitely $15, which I'm going to show you. So this probably because it's Edgar Rice Burroughs would be $15. I got it for I think it was $3. Yeah, let's see here. Okay, then this book I have, but not with this cover. And collectors will know this was a cool one to find. Yellowstone Kelly by Clay Fisher, who of course I said before writes under the usual name of Will Henry. And this has Clint Walker on the cover from the TV show Cheyenne. So it's got pictures from the movie. This is not something I would read. This is an old book from must be the 50s, and but it's just a really cool cover. Then I picked up Troopers West by Forbes Parkhill, and this is a book, Cavalry vs. Utes, and I'm pretty certain it's a fictional version of the Ute War of the short-lived Ute War of 1879. Probably what it is, fictional characters. But had cool. Got cut off there. I had a problem with the memory on the tablet, but I fixed it. So I was saying how Troopers West has a cool cover. I didn't want to leave without it. It would have bugged me for the price. Just get it. What the hell already? Okay, then this was on a book rack, the kind of book rack that swings around, paperbacks fit on it. Usually they get destroyed that way. Just think of Strand if you've ever been there. The books generally do not last that well on that rack, and yet they're charging $7.50, $10, $15 for those books. So this I think was $1.50, and it was in excellent condition on that kind of book rack. Luckily it didn't get damaged. I don't know how long it's been sitting there, but this is like an unread. Well, it's creased, but not like bad. It's gently read. Very gently. It's got a great cover. This is a Tough Trip Through Paradise, 1878-1879 by Andrew Garcia, edited by Bennett H. Stein. I've spoken about this book in past videos, so I'm not going to say anything again about it right now. But great story, even if some of it's questionable. Still a great book to read. Then this book I have, but Indian Country, Dorothy M. Johnson. There's several short stories in this book, but this cover I don't have, and it's just really cool. I think this was maybe like around $3. Glare, but anyway, you could see it's a really nice cover. Cheesy, right? But the old 1950s style. And then my wife picked up one of these, a different one than I have, Starsky and Hutch. This is kind of just for, memory's sake. Just kind of cool to have. I have number 6. She has a yellow cover. It was the first one. It didn't even say number 1 on it. Like this one says 6. She has the first one. Nice cover also. And just kind of like a cool little thing to have. I don't have that series on DVD. I really need to get that. Then, this is the most expensive book I bought the entire day, and I actually tried to get it for less, but the women wouldn't deal with me in the store. I still went ahead and purchased it anyway, and I'll explain why. This is The West of Buffalo Bill, Frontier Indian Art, Crafts, Memorabilia from the Buffalo Bill Historical Center. And this book I've seen in stores for, I don't remember really prices, but certainly not for a few dollars. It'd be $15, $20 or more. And I never see it in good condition. This came with the clear jacket on it already, the protective jacket on it, and the book looks like brand new, unused. And for $25, I figured I'm just gonna get it. I tried to get her down to 20, but she wouldn't deal. So I said, well, would you take 25? Because that was the price anyway. And she said, yeah. So, cool book. There's fold out. I'm not going to open it up, but there's fold out pages in here with pictures, and there's just a lot of nice stuff in here. This book must be from the late 60s, early 70s. I don't see it offhand, the date of publication, but you can tell from looking at it, this is late 60s, early 70s. So again, The West of Buffalo Bill. and $25. But everything else was really kind of cheap. Like the first store I went to, I picked up 15, 16 books. It cost me $13, and there was some nice stuff in there, hardcovers. So that's it for this this part of my video, and still got a lot of month to go. So, but we don't really have any. There's no more book trips planned this month, I don't think. Got to look at the calendar. But, I go to Strand, so maybe I'll find something. And till next time, bye. It's Tuesday, June 13th, and I've got a little update to make. Yesterday, I purchased 3 books at Strand, so this is the 3. Outside on the racks, got this for $1. Tough Without a Gun by Stephen, it's probably Stephen Canfer. And I have this book, but not this copy, with these pictures like this. So it's kind of cool. It was like in brand new condition, and it was just $1. So I got that one, and then my favorite show of all time, Farscape. And this novel I have, but I like to get it when I see it. This is A Ship of Ghosts by David Bischoff. Now, this book and the next paperback I'm going to show you, I'm not too proud. I bought it inside the store for half off, which I think is a ripoff. But I had a few dollars in my pocket, and what was I going to do with it? Save it? I probably should have saved it, but I bought the book. And so there you go. Cool cover. I would have felt bad leaving it behind. It's like brand new. Then I picked up... why did I say that? So, The Three Musketeers by Alexander Dumas, and this has a cool cover. It's an older copy. It's in nice condition. And this has an introduction I was reading, looked kind of interesting. Because I already had the book, 2 other versions. But this has a different translation. A different person translating. I assume it's a bit of a different translation. And kind of interesting will be when I do get to read the book to compare the 3 of them. And again, it had an interesting introduction I was reading, so I figured I'll just get it. And then last, where I work, my boss is pretty good to me. And once in a while, he'll buy me a book. And it's from the same bookseller. He sells history books on the Indian Wars, specifically mostly about Custer. So this book here, Benteen's Scout by Roger Darling. This was a gift. Book goes for $45 plus my $5 shipping, so it's $50, which is very generous to do that for me. Custer Trail Series Volume 1. So I have pretty much every Custer-related book, if not every Custer-related book, and then some from this publisher, Upton and Sons. So this was like one of the, I think it's the last one I didn't have, so now I have it. So that was pretty cool. And Saturday, my wife's busy going out somewhere, so I'm probably going to go with my son to New York City to a library there that has a bookstore attached to it. I was there once before. It was okay, but he likes going on trains, so we'll take a ride probably, weather permitting. And then going back to Jersey in a few weeks to this bookstore I was at the other day that this last Saturday had a lot of vintage paperbacks, and it was a big store. I didn't get to finish going through it. So in about maybe 3 weeks we're going to go back. So I'm looking forward to that. And that's about it for this little update. So till next time, bye. So it's Thursday, June 15th, halfway through the month, and I have a few more books that I got the last couple of days, so I'll make a little quick video. I like to wait to the end of the week if I can, but I want to put some books away, and if I put them away, then I got to take them out again to do the video, so I'm trying to just do as many little updates as I can right now. This I picked up at Strand. This was a really good find. $2 outside. It's excellent condition. I have two of these, but this one is a little bit different because it has, well, it's History in Their Blood, the Indian Portraits of Nicolas de Grand Maison, and get some glare there, but this has a foreword by Frederick Dockstader that my other two copies don't have. So there's one little difference, and the text here is by Hugh Dempsey. He's a well-known writer of Blackfeet Indians, and you can see the kind of art that's in here. It's really nice illustrations. Should I say paintings? Paintings of mostly Blackfeet Indians. And so that was $2 outside. Inside, I got this for $5. This is a beautiful book. It's got fold-out pictures. It's hard to maneuver this, so I won't open it up. But there's fold-out art in here, which is pretty cool because already the book is kind of big. So when it folds out, it's really the art's very nice and nice color. So this is a text by Peter Hasrick. It was again $5 in like a book rack where they keep art books like that they're getting rid of. For some reason cheaper than elsewhere in the store. And you got to get them quick there because they just kind of stack them in there, and the dust jackets get ripped and the books get messed up pretty quickly. So you got to go through it somewhat frequently, and you can find some good stuff. So I got this, and on the shelf it's $10, and that in their copy wasn't as nice as this one. Then I got Into the Dark, The Hidden World of Film Noir, 1941-1950 by Mark Vieira. This came from Amazon, along with some DVDs that I purchased, some mostly James Bond movies with Daniel Craig. So, really nice. It's not very heavy in the text. It's kind of light on the text with a lot of pictures, but that's fine. I kind of just wanted something that had like a lot of nice pictures in it and just a little bit to read, not too heavy. And this I found today for $2 outside, Why Darwin Matters. It's brand new by Michael Shermer. Excellent condition. And looking at it, looks interesting. Has mostly good reviews online. A few people have some criticisms, expected. But looks interesting, and I like listening to him talk, so now I'll hear him in my head reading when I'm reading the book. So that's it for now. Tomorrow's Friday. Saturday I'm going with my son to New York City. We're going to go to a couple of bookstores there, see how that goes. Maybe I'll do a video Saturday night. And till then, bye. Saturday, June 17th, and this is today's book haul. Well, this came actually in the mail first. This was ordered on eBay. The Rough Guide to Westerns by Paul Simpson. And I wonder if this is the same Paul Simpson who writes some Farscape books that I have. Must be. He did like for each year that the show was on, each season there was a book about the season with the episodes and information about them, and it must be the same guy, Paul Simpson. Jimmy Stewart on the cover. So it was good, and that was a pretty cheap book. That was like $5 with shipping. They don't send it very well, not packed well, but it arrived pretty good. So then today my son and I went to the Webster Library bookstore, the Bookseller, Cellar, because it's underground, Bookseller, and we took a train ride uptown there this morning and went to lunch afterwards at CPK. It was raining a little bit. We were going to go to Argosy, but because of the rain we didn't go. But we each got some books at the Bookseller. So I bought 4 books. Came to about $20. So let's see here. Billy Wilder in Hollywood by Maurice Zolito. Forward by Jack Lemmon. And it's a softcover book. It's in fine shape. Then, from the same area, I was lucky to find this. Screwball. Hollywood's Madcap Romantic Comedies by Ed Sikov. And this looks like a fun book. And two more to go through. This book I picked up recently without the dust jacket. Matter of fact, that might have been my last video or the one before. It was like last weekend, I think. Or not too long ago. I forget. I have a bad memory. I got this book, but it didn't have the jacket, like I said. So when I saw it today, it was $5, and I just thought, what the hell, I'll get it for the jacket. That's Lakota Indian on the cover there. Name escapes me at the moment. Pretty sure that's a Lakota Indian. And then I see this book around a lot, and like when I'm at Strand, I see it all the time. So it was $5. It's like brand new. It's Civil War and American Art. It's a thick book. It was brand new. It wasn't even in the actual store yet. It was outside. There's an area where they have piles of books that haven't been priced yet. And I actually found the Native American book that I just showed you out there, and this book. So I brought them in, asked how much. They were $5 each, and I said, okay. For $5, this book brand new. This is a really nice book. It's by Eleanor Jones Harvey, and it's got a lot of text and pictures. So that was a good one for $5. And then the problem was just getting everything home safe because it was pouring for a little while. I had an umbrella held really close, the bag right up to me with my books, my son's books. But we have fun. I really wish I could have got to Argosy. I might have been there once many, many years ago. I'm not even sure I was ever there. But they have books outside. They sell cheap. I was going to check it out and couldn't do it with the rain because I had to carry the heavy bag and it was just too much. But we have fun, and tomorrow's Father's Day. That's about it. That was today's book haul. Bye. It's Friday, June 23rd, and time for another weekly update. My weekly Friday update, which I usually do. Sometimes I do more, but I try to do Fridays if I can. So, let's get to it. Keep the Last Bullet for Yourself, The True Story of Cuss's Last Stand by Thomas B. Marcus. And this was $1. I do have another softcover copy and a hardcover copy, but now I have a extra softcover copy. For $1, that was a good buy. Then I found a book that I didn't know about, but it's like right up my alley. Shannon Burke wrote a book called Into the Savage Country, and this is a book about mountain men, probably the 1830s, and looks pretty interesting. They actually had, this was $1. They actually had two of them. There were two of them out there. So, Into the Savage Country. And this was $2. It's supposed to have a dust jacket, which it doesn't have. It's a little bit worn, the cover, but for $2 I figured I'd get it because I don't have it already. It's the Phil Sheridan album by Lawrence A. Frost, and he did a Custer album also. But this looks kind of cool. Let's see here. Give me a second. So it's basically a lot of pictures and some text relating to the life and times of Sheridan, Phil Sheridan. This picture here has Custer. So for $2 seemed like a good idea to just get it. I'd never seen that book anyway. And this was $5, Pulp Art. Original cover paintings for the Great American Pulp magazines by Robert Lesser. And this is from art from, I think, the 20s and 30s, whereas the 40s and 50s became a bit more sophisticated, the art. But it was $5. It's like in excellent condition, dust jacket's intact and all, so kind of looked interesting to me. I gotta look up and see if they have something for the like 40s and 50s cover art. I'm sure that someone must have something. This isn't something I bought. I get these. I might have showed this in another video. I seem to get these in the mail once in a while. Civil War magazine. This one's called Hollowed Ground. Kind of like an outside cover and then another inside cover. And then last, this was $2. It's called Absolute Victory. America's Greatest Generation and Their World War II Triumph. From the editors of Time. And it has a foreword by George H.W. Bush, the original George Bush, Papa George Bush, who was, of course, in World War II and was a pilot. It's got lots of nice pictures. I mean, when I say nice, I mean interesting pictures. Some of them are, you know, dead people, so I wouldn't call them nice pictures. But this looked really good. It was like brand new, and it was $2. So that's it for this week's purchases, and next week, June 30th, will be the end of the month. So we will then be down to officially 24 months to retirement. Almost there. Not quite exactly, but so close. That's like a milestone, 2 years. 2 years to go. So probably see you next Friday, if not sooner. Hello again. I probably should have waited yesterday on my Friday book video for today. It's Saturday, June 24th, Saturday night, and I bought books today at the Book Review in Long Island, which I'm going to show in just a second. So probably should have just made one big video with today's book haul and yesterday's, but I didn't know if I'd find anything. I mean, usually you find at least one book there, but I found a few. So let's get into it. First, they had this in hardcover and softcover, but I got the softcover. The Civil War in the American West by Alvin M. Josephy. And it's like in excellent condition. It was $5. The hardcover, they had 3 of them, and they were priced differently, like between $6 and $7 about. So, but I just went for the $5 softcover. I kind of just liked the cover better, the picture. The hardcovers were kind of boring looking. So that looks good. Then, it's got good reviews also. Then I picked up, this was like brand new, The Hunter and Other Stories by Dashiell Hammett. So it's lost stories that Hammett wrote, and looks like a cool collection. It's got good reviews, and it was $6, I think, like $5.98. Then I picked up Don Troiani's American Battles, and this has art from the Revolution, or even pre-American Revolution, from 1754 up to 1865. So pretty much covers Revolution through the Civil War. He's a really good artist. I may have art from these books already in 2 other books I have of his art. This may have some extra stuff additional, I'm not really sure, but it was $10 and I wanted to get it. And it's got, you know, interesting text, it looks like, and lots of really good art. Let's see here. So, for $10, it was pretty much an excellent, almost brand new condition. So it seemed like a good deal to me. Then the other, let me get this box over here. The next thing I got were 4 books that came in this slipcase. I have the books out of the slipcase for the moment. So this is the American Heritage Chronicle of the Great Wars, illustrated 4 volumes. This was about $12 for the set, and they were all in like really good condition. And now 2 of them I had already, 2 of them I don't, or didn't. I have them now. And so let me show them. This one I already have, but again, the price was really good for the whole set. The American Revolution, narrative by Bruce Lancaster, introduction by Bruce Catton. That was one. This one I don't have. This is the American Heritage Picture History of the Civil War by Bruce Catton. This is a big, thick book, and it's like really in excellent condition. This next book I have, The American Heritage History of World War I by Brigadier General S.L.A. Marshall. And the last one I don't have, well I do now, is World War II by C.L. Sulzberger, S-U-L-Z and then Berger, B-E-R-G-E-R. And it's a big hardcover book. And again, all of them together in the slipcase was about $12. That's a pretty good deal. Can't complain. And that's today's book haul. Who knows what I'll find this coming week, but until next time, bye. Tuesday, June 27th, and I bought a few books today. What else is new? I was going to wait till Friday, and then I thought, well, I'll just make another video clip. It's been a very long month. Usually when I do my last video of the month, I talk about how I can't believe another month has gone by. June has been a hectic month, to say the least. I won't get into it. It's stuff going on, and so what could I say? It's been a long month. A few more days, not even over yet, but I'm going to do this little book video, trying to cheer myself up a little bit. So this is what I picked up today. These books were outside Strand. Well, 3 of the 4 that I'm going to show you, one of them was inside the store. So first I got Richard Dawkins, Unweaving the Rainbow. Basically brand new condition, really. I think it was $2. And of course, you know, Richard Dawkins, famous science/atheist writer. Then I was really surprised to find this, East of Gettysburg by David F. Briggs. And it's subtitled Stuart vs. Custer. This is an Old Army Press book from 1970. And yeah, I'll show you here. Yeah, 1 second, so. There's Custer. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Found this outside. So I was quite surprised. I didn't know what it was. It said East of Gettysburg, and I just kind of like pulled it off the rack, and then I saw it said Stuart vs. Custer, and I didn't know it was Old Army Press, and I was surprised when I opened it and saw that. So that's kind of really cool. And I picked up Battle Cry of Freedom, The Civil War Era by James M. McPherson. This is a big, thick book. I just gotta live to like 200 or more to read all these books. But there you go. I got it. Didn't have it. All of these are new to me. I don't have any of these, so that's kind of cool. And the last thing, I picked this up inside. It was $4. It's a Scottsdale art auction catalog, and it's kind of current. It's from April 2017, and it's got a lot of pictures inside of Western art. Some of them are a little bit on the small side, some of them are nice, a little bit bigger, but it's kind of cool. So that's it for what I picked up today, and I say it's been a hectic 2 to 3 weeks, about 3 weeks, and month still got a few more days, but I hopefully the rest of this month's gonna settle down a little bit. There's things I want to say about life and what stuff, but I don't want these videos to be about that. Kind of was just hoping to show the books and have a smile on my face and deal with other stuff, you know. But other stuff happens, and nobody's ever gonna watch this anyway. So that's it for now. Who knows, maybe I'll find more books tomorrow and do another video. Bye. It's Friday, June 30th, and June is over. It's about time. So, let's get to it. Um, First, let's go over the movies that I watched this month. So, I have two sets here of movies, and off of this here, this Film Noir Collector's Edition, 7 Great Killer Classics. So, I watched DOA and The Stranger with Orson Welles. Both movies were good. There's other movies on here. Some of them I watched last month, and might be one or two I still have to watch. So overall, this is a very good set, though. And again, DOA and The Stranger were good movies. Off of this set, Film Noir Classics 1, Columbia Pictures. There's 5 movies on here, and I watched The Sniper, 5 Against the House, The Lineup, and Murder by Contract. The one I didn't watch is The Big Heat, because I saw that last year or the year before. I did watch it. It's probably last year I watched it. I'll watch it again, but as far as The Sniper, 5 Against the House, The Lineup, and Murder by Contract, all good movies. Murder by Contract might be the movie that had this cool, very cool soundtrack. The little piece of music, this theme music that would play throughout the movie. I think it was Murder by Contract. The Lineup, excellent movie. Eli Wallach is in it, and he was very good. All of the movies were really pretty good, very entertaining. Definitely recommended. They have other sets, but boy, they're just selling for ridiculous prices. Maybe one day I'll cave and get one, or they'll lower the price, or I'll find it in a store, a used bookstore that sells DVDs. But too bad. I'd really like to get the other sets. Okay, Cry Danger with Dick Powell and Rhonda Fleming, another good one. I'm not going into details on these movies. They were all good. Doesn't mean that I agree with every little part of it, or I had everything was perfect to me, but they were just all very good. Definitely recommended. Definitely would watch them again. So, Cry Danger. Then James Bond. This was a James Bond month. I'm really into Daniel Craig after watching Cowboys and Aliens. I think that was a pretty good movie for what it is. But Daniel Craig as James Bond. So far, there's 4 movies. There might be a 5th. So I watched Casino Royale, Quantum of Space. I'll go over each one in a second with a few comments. Skyfall and Spectre. Now, Casino Royale was very good. Everybody agrees on that. I agree. Good movie. Quantum of Space. Quantum of Solace. Why did I say space? Quantum of Solace. People, I noticed, put down a lot. And like if you go to YouTube and watch reviews, everybody jumps on the bandwagon. Oh yeah, that movie wasn't good. This was a very good movie. I liked it. I thought it was entertaining. I mean, for whatever they're watching to get out of the movie, I don't know. I thought it was good. I liked it. Skyfall also very good. My least favorite, which was still a good movie, but my least favorite was Spectre. And here's why. So, first of all, I think that I guess if I was older and watched the original James Bond movies, that Sean Connery or Roger Moore would be like a favorite, but Daniel Craig really can kick their asses. That's what James Bond is. I mean, this is like a tough secret agent guy, excellent fighter, cool when he needs to be under fire. The stakes are higher in these movies in a way with like the bad guys are just more bad and evil and with technology and so forth. The old movies they're a little bit campy to me, even if they don't mean to be. I just don't find them that threatening. Maybe for the time they were, but I was just too little to really notice that. So the new, I just think Daniel Craig is James Bond. I can't imagine who will take his place. I mean, I'm sure that it could happen. I'm sure someone will get the part and be very good. But Daniel Craig, so far of all the James Bonds, he's the guy that I think is the best. Being that I'm not like a Bond aficionado, I haven't like seen every single movie, but just from the clips I've seen and what I remember of the old movies, I like the new ones. So when it comes to James Bond, you have to accept the fact that things are going to happen. You're going to be like, a little bit like, yeah, right, like that could happen. Like, how could he survive that? So you got to suspend your belief a little bit when you're watching it. It's understood. This movie, I had to do it a little bit more. It was just a little bit over that line, whereas the other movies, kind of got onto that line maybe, but didn't go over it, or they kind of got away with it because of the way it was done. It was just too exciting. But this movie, I felt like the needle in the head. There was just things about it. Sometimes I just felt like it crossed the line into a little bit of like where the plausibility would just kind of jump the shark a little bit. Still a great movie, fun to watch. I just thought it was lesser than the other ones, but all of them, as a group, this is a lot of entertainment here, and wow, maybe one day I'll watch them all in one day. That would be something. Then let's get to the books. So before I get into what books I read, today I took my son to work and we stopped by Strand on the way home, and he got a book, which turns out he already had. It's only $1. But I picked up this, Johnny Reb, The Life of Johnny Reb by Belle Irvin Wiley. And as it turns out, I didn't remember that I had it, but I have the other one, the companion one to this one. So this was actually a good purchase for $1 because I didn't have it. Well, I knew I didn't have it, but I didn't realize that I had The Life of Johnny. What's the other one called? Yank something? Billy Yank? Maybe? My mind's blank. My mind goes blank a lot. Age. Yeah, I think it's Billy Yank. The Life of Billy Yank. So, good purchase. Now I have both of them, both in the series. And both of them I paid like next to nothing for. So, and all of that blabbing, I'm not getting rid of any of it because I do not have professional editing equipment, and even though I could edit it, it's kind of annoying, and so it's just going to stay here with me trying to remember the name of the book. Okay, what did I read this month? In no particular order. Well, maybe I'm doing the Atheist book first. So, Natural Atheism by David Eller. There are some good parts in it. I did take a few notes. I don't think that it's a great book. I think it's okay. From like 1 to 5, maybe like a 3. That's all. He. Sometimes I felt like his logic wasn't the best, and I could have refuted some things that he put forth. It's very hard to write in a way that if you're trying to be logical, it really takes someone else to maybe read what you're writing and say, well, it's not logical because of this, or you're doing the same thing you're accusing them of doing, or your evidence is weak for what you're saying. Even though I agree with him and I'm an atheist, I just feel that he didn't really. It's not a home run. It's good, some good points in it, but that's it. I thought that had I read it first and said, I have some suggestions to make this a little bit stronger here. Did you think about the fact that this doesn't really, you're kind of contradicting yourself here, or would have made him think a little more about what he was writing. But it's not bad. You can get something out of it. Okay, Dashiell Hammett, The Thin Man. I watched the movie with William Powell and Myrna Loy maybe a year or two ago, and it was a good movie. Didn't kill me. I have to go back and watch it again. I didn't know what to expect. I kind of bought it because of this talk about the relationship between Loy and Powell, and it's some of it there, but it wasn't really that much. I was expecting more. Just kind of disappointed a little bit. So the book is pretty good. A bit convoluted. These stories always are a little bit hard to follow and a bit convoluted. But it was good. I think he was a good writer, Dashiell Hammett, and so I'd recommend that book, The Thin Man. Okay, Comanche Moon, William R. Cox. This is a kind of dark cover, hard to see, but there's the cover really doesn't do much for what the story is. There's a cowboy or a frontiersman on a horse with a rifle, and there's Indians on horses behind him, like riding down a hill. They don't even look like they're coming after him, so I don't get it. But this was a pretty good book. There's actually even a sex scene in here. Yeah, that's right, sex scene. I thought it was a pretty good story. I'm not saying it was perfect. I do recommend it, and I would read more by William R. Cox. It's basically travelers caught up in a stage station, and there's like the Comanche Nation's on the warpath. It's like a full moon, and they're out in force, and it's like kind of the lives of the people that are caught up in the stage station. This was kind of a disaster. Bent Red Moon by Russ Hall. I just wasn't into it. I don't even remember what it was about. 1870s Texas. Yeah, it just didn't do anything for me. I just didn't find it believable. Getting rid of that one. That was just a reading copy anyway. This book I'm just about finished with. I'll be finishing it either tomorrow or Sunday. It's called Shooting Scripts, From Pulp Western to Film by Bob Herzberg. And Bob Herzberg, I think, is living in or from Brooklyn. It's a good book, but he's a bit controversial. Writes some nasty stuff about some authors. He seems like Louis L'Amour. He really puts down. Called his novels asinine. So he's trying to be cute, funny, but it's also nasty. Which, that's fine. It's okay. But I don't agree with everything that he says. So some of the things that he says he doesn't like, and the reasons why he gives, I feel the opposite of what he's saying. So I think for myself, some things that he doesn't like, I think are good. Some things that he likes, I think aren't good. So I have my own opinions and my own reasons, and I don't think that he's. Sometimes he puts down an author or a book because it wasn't what he wanted. But that's the author's writing what the author wants to write, not what he doesn't know what you want to read. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't like this certain kind of heroes. Well, that's what that guy's writing. That's what he writes. So I don't know, but I think it's entertaining to read and it's interesting. I'm almost done. So, well, my eyes are getting tired. So that's it for this month's video. And again, June's over. Tomorrow's July 1st. We're going to New Jersey, a couple of bookstores, eat out, do some other stuff. And that's about it. So that's how many months is that down? I'm not even sure. There's 2 years to go, though. Starting tomorrow, 2 years to go. In 2 years, I'll be sitting here saying, I made it to the end. Retirement. Can't wait. Bye.